All right, now that we have the lower body all warmed up and we've done kind of our mobility and made sure the joints are feeling okay, we're gonna take it down to the floor. Now, one thing to remember about stretching is that stretching is real work. You don't wanna overdo it, you don't wanna over push it. The stretch reflex works in such a way where if you go too far and you enter into that kind of pain or really heavy discomfort zone, it might stay there in the moment, you might even feel more flexibility in the moment, but actually over time, you're going to reduce your overall flexibility because the body releases a protective response to make sure that you're not pushing your joints into a range of motion that isn't safe. So the goal with stretching, the goal of flexibility is find your safe zone. I like to call that a 7 out of 10, or the cusp of discomfort, where you feel that stretch and it feels really good and juicy, but not painful and not uncomfortable in such a way where it's hard to breathe or where you have a hard time maintaining it. If you do enter that discomfort zone and it is a little bit painful, pull off of it a little bit. Find that 7 and stay there. Give your body a chance to ease itself out. Let's get started. We're coming down to the floor. I am grabbing my trusty yoga strap and I'm going to show you a really simple series here to improve some hip mobility. We're going to begin by just extending and bending the knee. And don't worry too much about your foot here. I really want you to just focus on creating gentle pull towards the chest on the yoga strap as we bend and extend through the range of motion. Now you might find that for you, that's the full extent of how far you can go. That's really okay. Stay within that 7 zone. We're going to come up all the way, hold, and flex the foot. Take a deep breath here, release the foot, and bring it back down. One more time, coming up, flex the foot, feel that stretch behind the leg, release the foot, and back down. Last time here, up, flex, hold, feel the stretch, and relax. All right, so next, we're going to take ourselves through the range of motion of the hip. Now, what we want to avoid here is we want to avoid rolling over and actually getting into the range of motion of the torso. We really want to lock the hip into the mat for this particular motion, and we're just going to guide the leg over the body in one direction, and then guide the leg over the body in the other direction, tracing a half rainbow from side to side. Slight bend in the knee. We really don't want to hyperextend the knee here. And just moving dynamically across the body, in and out. Now, the function and the muscles used change when we have a bent knee. So you can bend your knee here, and you might actually find that it makes it either easier or harder in one or both positions, and that you feel it in slightly different places. So it's worth doing a bent knee version as well as a straight leg version. Last time pushing over here. Beautiful. And let's extend one more time, flex the foot. Notice how right off the bat, we've got a lot more room in the back of the leg. You might find that you're able to actually lengthen your leg a little bit straighter and longer than before. And we're going to begin with microcircles. Microcircles are tiny little guided movements. You can use the hands and the strap to help control, but really think about the heel drawing this movement for you. And we're just going to circle about 8 times one way and 8 times in the other direction. Notice your breath as you're doing this work. This is real work, like we said. Okay, mobility and flexibility are important components of strength training and allow for better function in your strength movement. So they're always just a good idea to allocate some space to. We're going to take that circle now and draw it a little bit bigger. And this time, what we're going to look for is evenness of our circle. Okay, so we want to avoid the oval effect of up and down, look for equal distribution, as perfect a circle as you can get, really controlling how that leg is working. Again, 4 to 8 times in one direction, and then we'll change directions, going the other way. Beautiful. So we don't want to go lower than what we can handle up top, right? It's not going to be perfect every time, but you're looking for equal distribution of distance in kind of the 4 different directions. Now we're going to bend the knee, pushing the knee out of the hip area, and extend and bend again, and just dynamically moving through this external rotation of the hip. And again, 4 to 6 repetitions here, and let's release. Bring it down, shake that out, and take a moment to compare left and right sides. Notice how the side that you haven't worked on is probably feeling a lot tighter than the side that we've just gone through and done some mobility work with. So you should be able to do those hip drops with more ease and more comfort. Repeat that entire sequence on the other side, and then we'll talk about what it looks like to strengthen those muscles.